So, welcome to my video presentation of the final project. My name is Vin, and the unit that this project belongs to is Interface Design and Development. Today, we'll be discussing all three stages of my project. Stage 1 is two simple application pages, and stage 2 and stage 3 will be covering my own application with additional enhancements to it. This project is using Vue.js, and my choice of backend is PHP. And additionally, to store data for my custom application, it will be stored using JSON files. So let's go through the application for a little bit, shall we? First of all, stage 1 and stage 2 are pretty simple. It's a list of news with pagination, and there are filters at the top of the page. So say if I want to look for article 5, I can only look for 5. 4, it does have 440. This, the filters can be stacked together. So say if I look for news, there's that. If I look for events, there are none. If I want to look for items, maybe before, okay, let's delete this, maybe article 1 end with 2025. So we will put a limit. So posts from 2022, 2024 will show up. And additionally, I can look for maybe 01, 07, 2024. It does have that as well. So all of this are working in conjunction with each other, and yeah. And because the content are exactly the same, I didn't bother to filter it out, but then I say blah blah blah, there's that. Another page for this stage is also the about page. The pictures I'm using here are located on the Unsplash website, which is a website that gives out pictures without any license. So I don't think I'll get sued any day. And if I say welcome Vinday, adjust to it accordingly. So there's that. But now let's talk about my the main subject of this video, which is my application. So what we have here are blog posts. I've created it recently after some failed recording attempts, and also one previously. Say if I want to get into here, I can read all of that. But in order to log in, in order to comment, I'll have to log in. So let's log in. Admin password for this is admin password. Very strong, I know. So if I go into here, the comments are now showing up. And another cool thing is if I say I squeeze the page down, it will look a little bit more suitable for mobile user. The post got moved to the middle, and additionally the navigation bar turns into a drop-down menu. So I will be commenting, final comment, and there you go. It's showing up now. I can also delete my comment as well, delete my previous comment. And if I refresh it, the other one disappeared, this one remains. And this is a post created by yours truly. I can edit it. Third time's a charm, yeah. Finally edit, and it shows up now. And yeah. But say if you want to, of course I have to create another post. Final post of the day, hopefully. Yeehaw. Publish, shows up now. And yeah. So in addition to that, we can also create accounts. So if I say I have to join username is John Doe. Oopsie, password didn't match, so that is by intentional. So if I do type it correctly, it will work. And if I'm reading posts that aren't under my account, I won't be able to edit it. I can only able to add comments to it. So there's that. So in addition to that, I've also created some enhancements for the project, but maybe we should talk about our structure, our program structure, before talking about the enhancements that I've created. So let's head into FileZilla. For this project, the data are stored in the data directory under the final project directory. And here are all of our JSON files. As you can see here, I've updated it and it's just recently. And additionally, our project is built at the final directory of htdocs. These are the broken ones that I've tried to create a couple days ago. And our backend are stored in the PHP directory. And yeah, so let's talk through our code for a little bit. So we have here is our source code for the project that includes our front end and our API, which I've created, my API, and also my PHP backend. So ignore the 2 Docker files here because I tried to deploy it to Mercury at first. It didn't work, so that I have to try to deploy to Docker container. But because I've already success in creating the PHP backend on our Mercury server, so I don't really need to use it. So in here, I have to set correct permissions to be able to make a request. And in there, I've also included my configuration files and our controllers. So during my process of designing this application, modularity is near the top of my priority, trying to make the code as modular as possible so that it can be easily maintained. So for getting user posts, comments, they're all stored in different files, and we will be referring it to the index PHP. And for the config here, it defines the data directory, and it also defines where our post files, comment files, user files are at. And we have a function of checking if none of this exists. It will create the directory and create the files that are suitable. And it will also set the correct permission of reading, writing, and executing, so that there won't be any issue with adding a user, adding a post or edit or anything like that. In addition to that, I would like to talk about our source code. So for the API part, we do have like modularize it with post APIs, comments APIs, and also user APIs. News APIs here, I try to create it for my stage 1 project, sort of to make everything as consistent as possible, but it's taking my time a little bit too much, so I didn't bother to implement it. So stage 1 applications are pretty simple, and it stays simple after me creating my application for stage 2 and 3. And in here we also have a test connection. So this is used to check if connections to our backend is working or not. And if I head into my application, look into the console, at the very top, testing API connection, and it's working well. Alright, let's get back into the code. that is my API. And we're also in the library here, we have an HTTP client. This is our client for the REST API. And you can see we define the URLs, and we can also, the logics are stored here. Network error post, it should be in JSON format. In addition to that, we're using local authentication storage. So this will be stored locally, so that whenever I try to refresh this, or if I go to anywhere else, anything like that, the user will still be signed in as John Doe. Only if I sign out, then I won't have any user credentials. This will improve the user experience, along with some other stuff that I've implemented. And for here, we also have post and comments. So this is store. We created this so that we can import the data in, and we can format it properly so that nothing is broken on the user side. So now let's talk about some of the enhancements that I've created for the project. So user experience is one of the key metrics in creating good looking and good user experience for web application. So what I've done here is creating something, but implementing something called code splitting. So code splitting is you only load in the content that you are actually looking at. So say if I open my developer console, in order to show this, I will throttle my network down to maybe good 3G. Yep, let's do that. So say if I reload, just give it a little bit of time. There you go. So right here, as you can see, only home view is for the views of the project. We have like 3 or 4 of them. Only home view is loaded in, as you can see right here. And if I say I look into the post, it will show post detail views now. There you go, and only data are retrieved. But if I say I want to go into news, then only news are loaded in. And about, same thing with about. If I want to log in, logins show as well. And now that everything's all cached, it's loading almost instantaneously. So how I implemented it is I'll hop into the code. I'll go into router.ts, index router. So here I have make async components. So this will load in like asynchronously instead of everything loaded in all at once. So the utilities are stored here. We're using define async component from Vue. So yeah. In addition to that, if I throttle my connectivity down even further, I will be also having like a loading progress bar, not bar, but like a loading progress circle. So that improves the interface that users are looking at and don't think that the application is not responding. So I'll reload it. You will see a little bit of a circle popping up. It should be showing soon because the connection isn't really good. I throttled it down to good 2G. So just give it a little bit of time. And there you go. As you can see, it does have a loading bar. There you go. And yeah. In addition to that, during the process of programming, I've also utilized this ZOD. So ZOD is a validation library. So I'm using Zod so that I can validate. I can use it to uh, format it into string or numbers or anything like that. So we will make sure that the types are safe. So ensure type safety. So Zod, for example, so I'm using it to make sure that validations are good, minimum of 1 and max of 200. And it will have a warning for if it's too long or too short. And in addition to that, I'll just have a look quickly. What else should I show? I don't want to miss out on anything. And yeah, let's maybe a little bit more about the program structure. So the test here, we didn't use it at all. API are for our API, and library stores our HTTP client for the API. And then router, we use this router here. So all of this are on a single page. And we use this web hash history so that there won't be any issues with Mercury. So if I didn't use web hash history, I use web history, for example, it will cause errors in loading other pages. And maybe I'll just look at the interface a little bit. So how can I squeeze this down? There we go. If I have news, about, login. So all of this are very user-friendly for mobile as well as for desktop user. So yeah, thank you for listening and watching this video, and that's it. Peace.